Hi, everybody. Welcome back to The Rush. Well, I was computer shopping, and I couldn't decide between the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro. Who better to bring here to talk about all gadgets than our gadget guru, Akash Sablok. We're also talking new iPhones and iOS 7, because everyone else is talking about it. How are you?
I'm really good. Yourself?
I'm great, thank you. And I'm one of the people that actually really likes iOS 7.
Well, you know, I do too. And it's one of those things where it's a learning curve, no doubt. And especially if you've been used to one type of look, so to say, all the life of an iPhone, and now there's something completely different, there is a bit of a change. But you get used to it.
And the funniest thing about iOS 7, and let's just hold up one of the ones that's got it here, is that it really is just a new look, and people are actually angry about the colors and stuff. It's funny how we're such creatures of habit when it comes to our phones.
It's like the world is falling apart because your icon looks different. Like, I think there's other problems in the world that we need to worry about. But this is it. It's different. There's no doubt about it. It looks different. At first, I was like, okay, I can't find the icons I want. It's just because it's different. They're cleaner, they're crisper, they're more fluid. I do miss some of the old icons, but
what do you miss about it?
You know,
I just found out it's got a flashlight, and I just was the most excited person in the world.
I had a flashlight on my own, on my old one as well.
You had an app, though. You didn't have a button.
No, I had an app. I had an app. But I mean, here, like this one here actually has the old one on here, and you can see the icons here. And like just the music one, I just found a little bit easier. The new one is red. And this one.
Wait, you can't find the music on there? Gosh, what's wrong with
I can see it. I can see it. But again, you're so used to it that you don't even think about it sometimes. You just boom, automatically go to it. So, but what's really happened and what's really changed is, yes, the look is different. The look is a little bit cleaner. The operation of it is a million times better. You know, the iOS 6 was fantastic. New iOS 7, the features that are in there, the fluidity, the setting up the functions, the options that you have now from each screen that you can do. Absolutely incredible.
And it does take a couple weeks to get used to, but once you do, you'll forget about the old one in no time.
Well, it's like this. It's like I have had an assistant working for me, and I told her to go and type something on a typewriter. And she sat there for 20 minutes.
Did she know what a typewriter was?
Well, I went up to her and I said, well, you know, what's wrong? She goes, I'm trying to hit Control Z and it just keeps putting little Zs on there. It's not doing undo. So it's what you've learned on. So anybody now picking up the iPhone now, you get a 5S or the 5C, all are going to have iOS 7 on them. Same with all the new iPads. Everything will have iOS 7. If that's what you learned going forward, you're fine. It's just because we're creatures of habit transferring over. But once you start using the new features that are built into it,
you'll be a happy camper.
You'll be very.
And I finally got around to. I have an old clunky 4. It's not even a 4S. I've never even used Siri. I'm one of those people, including my laptop. I use things until they die. But I finally ordered my new iPhone. I went with the 5S yesterday. But let's talk about the differences. By the way, they are sold out with my provider. There's waiting lists everywhere, so I reserved one. I don't know when I'm actually going to get it.
It's about a 6-week wait. They sold 9 million iPhones in the first weekend.
And a lot of people didn't think they would. It's the first time that Apple has gone into the market with, we'll start with the 5C, going with something that's a little bit less expensive.
Yes.
Now, in the Steve Jobs era, Apple products never went on sale. There was no such thing as a cheaper one. This is a really interesting move for Apple as a company.
Yeah, and I think what it is they've, previously what they've done is when they introduced the 4, they had the 4S. When they introduced the 5, they kept the 4S on the market. So you're still able to get the 4S, the model. Now what they've done is, instead of keeping the 5 around, they've replaced it with the 5C. So it's basically the 5 Plus. It's got all the features that the 5 had. Slightly better image sensor on here. You got a much better processor. It's the same processor, but a little bit faster. But it's the build and the case is what I have to show you. I'm just going to turn this around here, and I'll show you the back. It's a polycarbonate case. It comes in 5 different colors: red, yellow, green, blue, and white. And now I'm going to let you grab this. Hold on to this.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like plastic. It actually it feels like a bone china, actually, if you really feel it. And it's the manufacturing process that they've done on it. So it's not a standard plastic phone, so to say. It is plastic. There's no doubt about that. But it's not a standard plastic phone.
And is it more durable, less durable than what we're looking at with the 5S?
Well, it is. Yes, it is. It is more durable than the 5, definitely. You can get the cases if you want, and just because of the plastic casing. So now you've got a little bit of, it's not a metal that's going to bend. It's got plastic that's going to absorb a little little bit of the impact.
And Apple used to be any color as long as it's our color.
Yes, exactly.
Now we've got some primary colors here, which is another interesting move.
Well, you saw that with the iPod Touches and the iPod
True.
Nanos, that they started mixing around with color and stuff like that. It's because we all don't have one favorite color. We have several favorite colors. So
yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's get to the 5S. Let's talk about the features. What is new with this phone compared to the 5? Are there things that are really new?
Yes, and the most of it, what's new is inside. So it's on the inside. The outside, in fact, the dimensions, the weight, everything is identical to the 5. Now, what you have here internally is the processor. So it's got what's known as the A7 processor.
Your wife's a babe, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you. So it's the A7 processor. Now, the processor itself is much faster. It's 2 times faster than the previous one. It is a 64-bit processor. The previous one was a 32-bit. Now, what does that mean for the average user? Right now, there's actually 3 or 4 apps that will take advantage of the 64-bit processing. And as the apps are being launched, there'll be a lot more available in the market. A lot of the 32-bit apps are being upgraded to the 64-bit apps. What that means, though, is it's running a lot faster.
Right.
Graphics, games, video, loading, everything is much faster.
And what about Siri? Apparently there's more with Siri. I have never had Siri, so I don't even
Siri's
know.
been working out. She's got some new talents and stuff like that. She's gone to school. She's been working out. She's more powerful.
Do you use Siri?
I've been using Siri, especially when I'm driving, and you can hold the Siri button down and say, dial home or call me office or call Fiona on her cell, right?
Yeah.
And that it'll do that automatically for you. And that's what I've been using Siri for before. But now what Siri allows you to do is launch Safari, open mail, send a text to, and then dictate the text. And you could do that before, but it's a little bit more robust now. Launch an app, set up a camera, go to Bluetooth settings. Now you can tell Siri to do that. And now
so Siri's gotten better.
She's gotten much better.
Can we quickly touch on the camera? It's so amazing to me, the camera quality that we have in our phones. I think we take it for granted sometimes. The picture quality on phones now is absolutely amazing.
The phone, the 5 had a great phone itself. And now what they've done, they've added here, it's still 8 megapixel, but each pixel it's a larger sensor. So it's a 1/3 larger sensor. So it's not the number of megapixels, and that's just a numbers thing. It's how big their sensor is and how much light each pixel is getting. And that's much bigger now in the 5S. So what that means is each photo that you're taking, you're getting a lot more light. You can do a lot more with it now. It's got some really neat features in the camera. Of course, you have the panorama mode, so you can do a wide screen shot. Now, if you do a wide screen shot, you can make it dynamic, which means that if you hold your phone and you move around, your wallpaper is now dynamic as well. It'll scan this full length of the panorama. It also has what's known as burst mode, so you can take up to 30 shots per second. And now, it's
wow. It's great for sports or.
Well, this is it. And if you've got a group of people sitting around you're trying to take a shot, and somebody's smiling, somebody's blinking, whatever, you go back and you can choose a photo that you want. Yeah. Keep that one and automatically discard the other ones.
Amazing. Okay, so let's get the whole segment started because as I said, I use things till they die. I have a MacBook that's about 6 years old, barely functioning. My startup disk is full. It can't even operate Chrome, Safari, or Firefox. Oh. I know. And I couldn't decide whether I should get the MacBook Air, which we've got over here, or the MacBook Pro. Now, this started such a huge debate on my Facebook. We thought we'd bring you here today to talk about the differences. First of all, let's start with the MacBook Air. Who is the customer for this one?
For the Air is somebody that's, say, uses a tablet. They're like the portability, and that's the biggest thing is the portability. If you're a student or you're traveling a lot, you use a tablet and you're okay with a tablet, but you do need a keyboard for some basic functions like typing or editing or whatever you're doing. So you're basically tablet plus, and that is the person. So somebody that does a lot of writing, but also likes to have the small size of a tablet or an iPad.
Somebody who travels for business, and it's amazing to me how lightweight it is. It's actually lighter. I have one of the older iPads. It's actually lighter than my iPad.
Well, not only lighter, turn it sideways, and it is
so
paper thin. It is paper thin.
It's wafer thin. That is amazing how far we've come with how thin these things are.
Well, you want to know, that's actually thinner than the iPhone. This part up here is thinner than the iPhone. So, and then the iPhone itself is pretty thin. So.
Okay, so when we're talking about the Air compared to the MacBook, what does the MacBook have that the Air does not?
So this is a new MacBook Pro, and this is a MacBook Pro. Again, this would be the MacBook Air Plus. So what you're adding here, in this particular one, this is the one with the Retina display. So you
and
get
what does that mean?
The Retina display is a super high definition, the number of pixels per square inch that you're getting, and you're almost at the point where anything more the human eye won't be able to tell the difference. It's the sharpness. So if you're reading a web page, you're reading even an online magazine or anything like that.
Watching movies.
It's the definition. And it's how many pixels you're going to get in a square inch is more clearer the image that you're going to get.
And where do I put my floppy disk? I'm kidding.
I have an 8.5 inch, and I've even got a 5.25 inch ones that we could.
Are there even DVD ports on these anymore?
No. So this is the thing. Actually, from Apple's always been one to go a little bit ahead to say, okay, you know what? I mean, they were the first ones to get rid of the floppy when they introduced the translucent iMac, if you remember that. When they introduced the next generation, they got rid of the CD drive. And
they're always first to do it before consumers are ready, because we all think, oh my gosh, I'm going to need my DVDs. You know what?
I need it.
A year from now, we're going to wonder where we're supposed to dispose of our DVDs.
Well, they're great coasters, I'll tell you that. But with these even, I mean, Apple hasn't even put Blu-ray players in their machines, because really for that size of storage, you're using a USB. Using external USB drives. There's so many that are out there, and the prices come down so much. Even with these now, you have internally, you have 256 megabytes of solid-state drive in there, 8 gigabytes of RAM. Now that is going to let you to do basically anything that you want to do in the computing world.
Mine just arrived yesterday. I went for the MacBook Pro, the 13-inch with Retina display, because I've already got my iPad for traveling. I don't really need to type a lot on it. This one was the right one for me, but it's so interesting how many people struggle with that decision.
Yes.
And the price point is actually not that different between the two.
When you start adding up the options, there is. So this one you're at about $900 to $1,000. This one, when you start adding up the 13-inch with Retina display, you're at about $2,000.
I remember the first MacBook I got, I'm ashamed to say, was a few $1,000s, closer to $5,000. It was a long time ago. Okay, we've got a couple of questions from our live stream audience. Sonia is on the social media desk with her MacBook Pro. What's our first question, Sonia?
Our first question is from Robert, and he's wondering how much enthusiasm do you think is there for the fingerprint sensor on the 5S iPhone? Because there's this, people are talking that it's easy to swipe another body part or use your pet's paw to swipe.
What body parts are you putting on your iPhone, Robert? Would be the question right back to you. Now, you just showed me that feature on your iPhone.
I have to show you, yes. Okay, so the 5S is the only iPhone right now that has, is the only phone actually that has the fingerprint sensor. Now, how this works is I'm going to turn this off here, and basically you would turn it on, and I programmed it this way, but I'm going to put my thumb upside down, and you watch. It'll. Oh, here we go. It gets you in.
So you're in, and that's instead of using your password. But if I try to do that, it won't actually work.
It won't actually do it. You can program up to 5 fingerprints into there, any digit that you want to. Now it does have a couple of neat features. If you don't use your phone for 48 hours, you have to put in your password. If it's wrong or you keep typing it in wrong 10 times, it'll erase all the data. It has a remote wipe. Now what they've done is, yes, a fingerprint scanner is one more way of getting into your phone. It's one more password, it's one more layer. Somebody wants into your phone, they're going to get into your phone. So really what you're doing is you're just adding these security layers. There's been talk about that you could duplicate the points at the finger thing, but the chance of doing that, like a 4-digit code is a chance of 1 in 10,000. But a fingerprint, there's a chance of 1 in 50,000 matching. So really what you would have to do is get 50,000 people lined up, try their fingers.
No problem. Okay, Sonia, what's our next question?
And the next question is from Twitter, from Jack, and he's wondering, does iOS 7 make older phones run slower?
That's an interesting question, because I can answer from my experience on that, because I have a 4. It's one of the first 4s that came out. It was really slow and clunky, and I upgraded to iOS 7. I have to say I was totally scared to do so. It took about 12 hours. I had to leave it overnight, but my phone actually functions better now. But I've heard from other people, and I don't know whether it's just how much you've got on your phone, that it's slower. Are there any stats on this?
I don't know the professional stats, but I'll tell you the personal stats. I've been asking friends and people that have upgraded, and I myself have upgraded my older 4 to it, and the phone does run faster. And the only difference is that people have been saying that the battery life is less now, because just the features that the iOS 7 has,
takes more juice.
It's taken more juice, exactly. What I would recommend, though, if you are going from iOS 5 or iOS 6 to iOS 7, do a clean install. So what that means is back up everything, back up your contacts, your photos, everything like that.
Start fresh.
Yeah, set up your iPhone 4 or 5 or your 4S as a new phone, and instead of doing a restore, it'll be much cleaner, and it should definitely increase the speed that way.
Well, thank you so much, Akash. And I am going to get my new MacBook, and I'm going to join 2013. It's been 6 years since I got it, and I've got a new phone, and I've got a new iPod. It's going to be all new. I'm not going to know what to do.
We'll see you in 2018 then,
no
right?
Kidding. Okay, if you want to find out more about Akash and everything we've been chatting about today, you can go to his website. It's andnowyouKnow.net. We're going to take a quick break. And when we return, we're going to be talking about women in soccer right after this. Don't go away.